Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog. So let's get to it. All right, rock stars, a little stress in my life today. Can't be fucking around with you guys too much. I don't have much to talk about. Nothing really happened this week worth talking about, but we got to get these top of the blogs out there anyway. Trying to stay on schedule. It's been a stressful week because it's been my kid's birthday this week. Jada's was Monday, Joe's is today. So happy birthday to them both. And on top of that, there was some shit that was due at my job by tomorrow. Of course, I procrastinated and did not do any of it until today. There's nothing that won't be done, but it is stress in my life because I have to do it, and it takes time. And anyway, you guys, I don't know why I wait till the last minute. I do it every year. Anyway, you guys, not much to talk about, like I said. First story up, who bit your girl? That seems to be the big question of the week. Who bit Beyonce? Now, we have been hearing about this party that Tiffany Haddish had gone to where Beyonce was there and Jay-Z was there. And some female who had approached Jay-Z and was very flirtatious. Now, we had heard that story a couple of weeks ago. We talked about it here on top of the blogs. Now we hear another addition to this story. I don't know exactly why it came out so late. From what I understand, it's in Tiffany Haddish's book. I didn't read her book, so I wouldn't know this, but maybe she was in an interview and they commented about this party that she was at, and she was able to expand on the story and explained how she was going to beat this bitch's ass because not only had the woman approached Jay-Z in a flirtatious manner when Beyonce had to walk up to her and kind of be like, "Excuse me, bitch, back up," but we also found out that said woman, who is an actress that we're assuming is black, even though we don't know that for a fact, said actress bit Beyonce on the cheek. Now, none of this makes sense. First of all, who gets into your personal space like that unless they really know you? Secondly, who bites people unless something is really wrong with you? It's just, the whole thing is really, really crazy. All right, once Tiffany had said this new addition to the original story, of course, Twitter went crazy, Instagram went crazy, social media as a whole went crazy. I mean, you cannot be biting Beyonce. So, of course, the Beehive was on it. They wanted to know who did it, and damn it, they was going to have to pay. Somewhere, somehow, some which kind of way, Sanaa Lathan's name came up. And once they deemed that name credible and believed that she was the one that did it, the Beehive swarmed into her comments on Instagram and continued to harass her and leave a bunch of bees. Okay, so much so that eventually she had to respond and say, "Listen, under no circumstance did I bite Beyonce, and even if I did, it would have been a love bite." And we thought that squashed it, but later on that day, the blogs were still sticking to the story that it was Sanaa Lathan, and that Tiffany Haddish had been going around and telling, I guess, her inner circle, Sanaa Lathan had done this. Well, there's always somebody out there in your inner circle. If you're not careful, they will leak the story. And supposedly they're saying that Sanaa Lathan is the person that did it. Now, do I believe it? I don't know. When she was bitten, Beyonce told Tiffany Haddish, who was already had the, her hackles was raised, she was ready to beat her ass. And Beyonce told her, "Girl, she don't normally be like that. That bitch ain't even drinking. She is on drugs." Okay, she's not even drunk. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, it's Sanaa Lathan and she was supposedly on drugs? Like, what is this?" Nobody has ever heard any stories about Sanaa Lathan being on drugs. So, then it went on the debate of whether or not people believed that it was her. Some other names came up. I think Wendy Williams said Taraji P. Henson. I had never heard that name. Somebody on my Twitter felt like it might have been J Hud, Jennifer Hudson, and again, I don't know. I don't know if I could even think it was her. And I'm not even sure if I believe it was Sanaa Lathan. I've heard things about Sanaa Lathan. I mean, we've talked about her issues with Denzel Washington and his wife. But I've never heard anything about her being on drugs. But I have heard other things about Sanaa Lathan. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I can see her really being drugged out and doing something like that. But I honestly can't see anybody doing that. Some people are saying that they don't believe the story at all, that they believe that it might be just hype because we know the On the Run 2 tour tour is coming up. Of course, we are really expecting Beyonce to drop an album any day now. We know she's going to be at Coachella in a couple of days or weeks or however long it is. But then the other side of me makes me feel like Beyonce and Jay-Z don't really need any extra press. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. People are going to support either way it goes. So I don't know. I don't know what to believe. But I guess this is a good example of Beyonce being just as human as anybody else, okay? Even she can get approached by some old crackhead ass actress at a party and disrespected like that. But you guys tell me who you guys think it is. Do you even believe the story? Give me some names who you believe might be the person, or if you think that it is just urban legend. Leave your comments about it below. Listen to this story. So an anonymous blogger had spoken to a whistleblower at Howard University, and that person told this anonymous blogger, now it was a public blog post that was up, but now they have taken it down. Anyway, the whistleblower had told this anonymous blogger that they were side-eyeing the whole financial aid department at Howard University because they felt like there were some misappropriation of funds, and that some students there had received an exorbitant amount of financial aid cash award money, and that they had calculated in their mind that this money was equal to somewhere around $1 million. And I guess there had been some discussion about this and whispering in the hallways, so to speak, about misappropriation of funds, so much so that the president of the school, Mr. Wayne Frederick, looked into it. Now, he got wind of it, they say, back in December of 2016. And that was when he hired an outside auditor to come in and find out what was going on. They say that he found out, confirmed that this was indeed going on in May, I believe, of last year, 2017. So he has been knowing about this technically since the end of 2016. Not sure exactly what he had been doing about it. Not sure if he has been working on it behind the scenes and quietly hoping that he could take care of the problem before it hit the news like it has. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. Misappropriation of $1 million when historically black colleges and universities are already struggling, even though Howard is not one of the schools that I would consider struggling HBCUs. But of course, the light is going to be shined on an HBCU where the money has been stolen like this. So I don't know how he thought maybe he could keep it buried, or maybe he was just trying to keep it at bay as long as he could. There have been people that were unhappy with Mr. Frederick even before we knew about this story. Remember, he was one of the HBCU presidents who met with Trump. I mean, I guess Mr. Frederick thought that your stupid ass president was really going to sit down and help them. That's what I'm hoping that he thought, even though most of us believe that that was not the case. And like I said, it turned out to be a photo op and nothing more, but definitely a disaster. So basically what they're saying with this misappropriation of funds is that 6 employees that worked in the financial aid department over the last 10 years have received reduced tuition as students to the school. They also received grants, but on top of that, they were given extremely high cash awards that well exceeded the amount of the reduced tuition that they were already getting. Okay, one of these students would be a Mr. Tyrone Hankerson, and I'm sure you guys have seen all the memes and posts about him on Instagram and Twitter. One of them where he's wearing a fur coat. Now, I'm sure enough it gets cold enough in the DMV for him to be wearing it, but how many students really do you see wearing fur coats? I believe that many of the students that are at Howard University come from well-to-do families. Like I said, this is one of the higher echelon of the HBCUs. I'm sure plenty of my rock stars out there are Bison alumni. So I would like to know what you guys think about it, okay? When I was reading up on social media, folks are very upset about it because you know the drill. People are forced out of school because they weren't granted enough scholarship money or given the money from the grants that they need to pay for the tuition. And then you got employees who are also students who are still in the money, and nobody is saying anything. Like I said, this has been whispered in the hallways for some years now. And even though people knew about it, it wasn't until this blogger really said something about it a couple of days ago to where now Wayne Frederick and the rest of the board of trustees there at Howard University are having to pay this price. A bad look for the school. People are asking for Wayne Frederick and the board to step down. They want the students to have more say in the activities when it comes to the financial aid department. And of course, you guys know the school is saying right now that they are going to be the picture of transparency. And when it comes to financial aid, they're going to make sure that everybody is aware of who gets what and, all of that, I guess Wayne Frederick says better late than never is what they say. I don't know if that's what they say this time. This is bad. Mr. Frederick is probably not going to be able to sustain this. Again, like I said, I would like for especially my Bison alumni or who might be going there currently now to comment on this, because I want to know what you guys think about your president. I can only say what's in the blogs or what's in the news, but the students, do you guys respect him that way? Is he a good person that, just kind of adopted and got these problems? Like I said, it's been 10 years that they said this has been going on. I believe that Mr. Frederick is a relatively new president there. I may be wrong, but I thought that I read that somewhere. So you guys just let me know if he's just kind of adopted a problem or if he is a part of the problem, okay, and how you guys feel about him and the rest of the board and the financial aid department and everything else that's going on there. But I was just like, damn. Okay, especially when there are so many of us that have student loans that have high balances. When you hear stories like this, you're just like, ain't this about a bitch? If that shit has been going on for 10 years, I'm wondering if it's even more than $1 million. I mean, if that was the case, old Tyrone then got half of the damn money. And I was talking to Joe about it yesterday, and he was like, I don't know why, he didn't just stop. And I said, well, that's the whole thing. Nobody thinks they're going to get caught when they've been getting away with it for so long. But you get greedy, and, everything eventually comes to the light. What your mama used to always tell you. Okay, maybe y'all granny, because y'all young. Okay. Everything comes out in the wash. It's bad news for Howard. But they'll be fine. But yeah, they gonna have to tighten up on that financial aid department. Y'all let me know what you think. Alright, you guys, so Roseanne Barr's self-titled television show Roseanne has made its return to television. The return rebooted season started on Tuesday. 18.2 million viewers watched it, including my husband and myself. That is a whole bunch of fucking people watching that show. I didn't have any plans on watching the show. I never was a Roseanne watcher from the past. And really the only reason why we saw it is because we were watching, World News Tonight, and then it went on to E.T., and then it went on to her show, which was coming on next. We sat there, we laughed, we enjoyed it. I had no idea that Roseanne Barr was a Trump supporter. Or maybe I keep on thinking about that because I was like, maybe I did know and forgot. But it never really mattered to me. I'm sure there's plenty of people that's on television that are Trump supporters. Some that probably still are to this day, that haven't been that vocal about it. So, I mean, that part of it didn't matter to me. But obviously it did to social media and a lot of people that were weighing in on her 2 debut episodes that came on Tuesday night. The reason why it doesn't really bother me is because I feel like they did a good job of balancing the Trump support with Jackie's extreme left. Okay, she's an extreme liberal, and so we get kind of both sides of the coin. It's not just your stupid ass president, your stupid ass president, your stupid ass president. Jackie always has some sort of answer for Roseanne and back and forth. And I think a lot of people appreciate the fact that Roseanne incorporates a lot of her real life ways into her TV show. Okay, at least that's what I understand it used to be back then, and I'm sure that that's the way that they're going to keep it for this new rebooted season. You can tell when there are good writers that are on a show. That show has great writers. I feel like they write well enough for their cast, and the cast is able to pull it off in the acting. They're all good actors, and they're very clever and witty, and it's just a whole bunch of things that go on there that just kind of makes you laugh. So, like, I enjoyed the show. I'm not sure if I'm going to be watching it regularly, but if if it's another day where I'm just sitting there watching TV and it happens to come on, I'm sure I probably wouldn't turn away. But yeah, like I said, people are out there and upset, that she's an outspoken Trump supporter. I think Ashley told me that she's like a Looney Tune type of Trump supporter. And that actually was surprising to me, but I just was like, oh, okay. But I know there are a lot of other people that are very emotional about this and feel that, they can't even support the fact that, she's a Trump supporter and, all of that. Listen, the nigga is your fucking president. Okay, so I'm not quite sure what part of Roseanne represents me, so I ain't really that attached to it because she does not really represent me anyway. The show does try to have a little representation of everybody. I mean, they've got a gay kid. He's probably about 10 years old who likes to cross-dress. Or I don't even know if that's considered cross-dressing. He just likes to wear like skirts and, girl clothes, little sparkly pants and all of that. They've got your little black girl who we still don't quite know the story of who she is. I believe she is the son's wife who's in the military. I think that's her daughter. So obviously his wife is black and he's taking care of her daughter while he's home and she's still away at the military. And then, the other daughter is kind of fucked up. The one that was gay that's on the talk, she's also, not admitting that she's gay there, but she's got like her gay son, and then she also has her kind of problematic teen. I mean, so it's a lot going on where I guess it does represent everything that's going on in middle America. So I guess they tried to incorporate that, but I mean, I just kind of look at it as entertainment's sake and nothing more. Speaking of Roseanne, did you guys see her on Wendy Williams yesterday? Listen, ain't too many times that you see Wendy Williams speechless. Wendy Williams is doing her regular job that she does. She's interviewing Roseanne Barr. I'm not quite sure if Roseanne already didn't see it for Wendy to begin with and was just kind of waiting to see if Wendy was going to try it with her. We all know that Roseanne and Tom Arnold had a terrible breakup, and she doesn't necessarily like Tom Arnold any longer. Okay, so when Wendy Williams is talking about him on the show, on her show yesterday, and she's mentioning how he was hired to review the show for, I guess, some media outlet. You could tell that Roseanne didn't want to talk about it. I'm not even sure if maybe they said try to lay off of the Tom Arnold conversation behind stage, and maybe Wendy Williams still went on ahead with it or what. But you could tell Roseanne didn't want to do it, and then finally she said, Wendy, I don't like to talk about husbands. Wendy, meaning like, get off of my husband, or my ex in this case, or we can start talking about your husband. And I'm sure you don't feel like talking about your husband in this place and time. And of course the audience was like, ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, Wendy was taken aback. She kind of had a little step back or two before she could finally get her footing and everything and try to get back on track. I mean, it was definitely a moment. Okay, score one for Roseanne. I guess Wendy met her little match in that moment, but yeah, it was funny enough. I guess Wendy know not to ask that bitch about Tom no more, don't she? And people are still waiting on Wendy Williams to talk about her husband. You guys know she will never do that, so whatever. But you guys let me know what you think about the Roseanne reboot. Did you watch it? What did you think about the show? I think it's going to be time for us to retire Bow Wow. Okay, let me make sure I get his name right. Shad Moss has expressed, we're not quite sure if it's suicidal tendencies or, if whatever he might be going through. Now, he's done this before. Some years ago, he had expressed why he wished that he wasn't here and things like this. Around the time, I believe, that his kid was conceived, and when he found out that he was expecting a child, I'm not sure if he was really with it 100% to begin with. I mean, he grew to get with the program, and now he loves his daughter, and that doesn't even matter anymore. But you guys know Shad has had his moments with the media, most of it because he has put himself completely in the picture for everybody to talk about him. Now we have him expressing pretty much a lot of that same sentiment, that he can't do anything right, that people pick on him no matter what, that he just wishes that he could just be away from here and, not around, and, kind of this same sort of emotion that's coming from him that I was reading, and I was like, now, first of all, immediately I want to give the side eye, because y'all know Y'all know how I feel about Bow Wow. It ain't never been no secret. Like I said, he puts himself in the middle of the bullshit most of the time. But even with all that being said, you know, I'm not really trying to have a boy kill himself. I mean, I think I would be very hurt for his family, you know, his daughter, if we get a story one day that the man has killed himself. I mean, I don't think anybody wants that. So I'm just going to retire him. But I also feel like he needs to get off of social media. He is a person that likes to get the attention. And then when the attention that he gets is not the one that he wants, meaning that it's negative attention other than positive attention, then, you know, now all of a sudden he's upset that everybody picks at him. And when you get off of social media altogether, then you won't have to deal with that type of pressure in your life. Okay, yes, I'm sure that it's difficult to be Bow Wow these days. Okay, but you know, like I said, he puts himself there. He puts himself there. And, you know, of course, some people were trying to reach out to him and tell him that he does have fans, but he couldn't see, you know, the forest for the trees at the time. I'm just going to hope that the boy really is not trying to kill himself. But at the same time, I'm hoping that he's not using this as some sort of attention-seeking measures to, you know, it's just hard to say with that boy. So I really don't feel like he's going to kill himself. I really don't feel like that's where it is. But because I'm not no medical professional and I haven't sat down and, you know, able to tabulate his mental facilities and faculties, I'm just gonna say right now, we gonna just lay off old Bow Wow unless it's some shit that he really does that we just can't help but talk about it. I hope you feel better, Shad Moss. I'm sure there's a reason to live out there. Look at your daughter. That should be enough. Now, speaking of the ills of social media, let's talk about Alexis Skye. Okay, you guys know Alexis Skye. She had a baby with Willie Wop. She had the baby prematurely. Remember, I told you guys she had the baby in January. I don't think the baby was due until this month or maybe the beginning of next month. Anyway, she had the baby very early, and of course, the baby is a NICU. Expected to survive. The baby is getting much better. She's probably going to be getting out soon, but she is still in the hospital. Alexis Skye is a reality TV personality who makes her living doing photo shoots and being out and making appearances at clubs and things like that, which is mostly what many of the reality stars do on the downtime, because they ain't making Real Housewives of Atlanta money. Okay, the hustle don't stop when the show goes off. People have to make their money. And Alexis Skye was that person who made appearances and club appearances and things like that. But she also has a baby that is in the NICU. And just like you and I, who may have had a baby prematurely, I didn't, but I'm just saying, just like anybody else who has had a premature baby, they still have to work. So she goes and she does, and she posts to her followers on her Instagram, and people that have been following her feel that she is doing that way too much and not keeping the attention on her child that is in the hospital. Somebody called Department of Children and Family Services in Los Angeles, and now she has to deal with a case of her possibly being looked at as a mother who does not take care of their child, which is ridiculous. Oh, that bitch. Can't stand her ass. I don't be mean to nobody in my building, okay? And there's this one lady that works in the building. She just she doesn't like me. And I ain't done shit to her. I mean, she won't speak or nothing. So now I'm gonna be petty with her ass. I don't like your motherfucking ass either. Anyway, let me get back on track here. So yeah, they called Department of Children and Family Services, and I'm sure that case is going to be closed, because I used to work for DCFS. I wasn't a counselor. I wasn't a anybody like that. But what is the grounds? The girl doesn't even have the baby. Okay, the baby is still in the hospital. Okay, I'm sure she is there daily to take care of her child. But like I said, she has a job to do, and just like you work your 9 to 5, she has to work hers. It might just be at different hours. It's a shame that people feel like they have to shine this negative spotlight on a person simply because they don't approve of her lifestyle. Okay, just because you don't approve of the lifestyle doesn't mean that the lifestyle is bad. It's just maybe one that you wouldn't do. But it's too bad, because now you have potentially gotten the system involved in this girl's life, and she hasn't even taken a baby home yet. Nobody wants to have the government involved in their children's lives. That's not the kind of case. You don't want to have files at the DCFS. You don't want that in your life. It's negative. Okay, and it comes back to haunt you eventually. Like I said, they'll probably find that she hasn't done anything unless the hospital reported it. But it's just too bad that our society is the way that it is, and making this girl's life in this situation so difficult. I can't say that Alexis Skye is a perfect mom. Nobody is, and maybe she's done some things and posted some shit that might be questionable, yet and still not sure if it means that she's not a person that can take care of their baby. And I don't think it's realistic to expect her to spend 24/7 at the hospital. Some people do it. I don't even know if the hospital encourages you to be that way. I mean, you need to be rested in order to take care of your own child. Okay, when you're there, you have to be the best parent that you can be. So it's just too bad. It's just too bad. I want people to be better about these kind of things. And Alexis Skye, Willie Wop, y'all hold up your head. Hopefully that your beautiful baby girl will be home and healthy soon enough. Now, congratulations are in order to a Virgil Abloh. I hope I'm saying his name right. He's a 34-year-old Chicago fashion designer, has a label called Off-White, I believe it is. And he's had successful collaborations with Nike and Jimmy Choo, and he's worked on projects with Kanye West. He also was just nominated by the Couriers. Oh God, I didn't even type. My phone messed it up. I don't know what it is. I think it's the Couriers of Fashion Designers of America for both menswear and women's wear's designer of the year. And now he's been appointed as the new menswear designer for Louis Vuitton. No formal training in fashion design, in clothing design. I think they said that his formal training is in interior design. So this is huge for somebody like a Virgil Abloh. And it's also proof that these very high-end designers are watching what is going on in society. I'm sure they have seen the mega success of Gucci and how Gucci has kind of lended its designs to the urban scene. All y'all niggas out there is wearing Gucci. And these designer labels, where at one time where they might not have necessarily wanted a certain type of community to wear their clothes and be represented by their clothes. I mean, nobody can now deny the influence of the urban hip hop. It's everywhere. So I'm sure Louis Vuitton has looked at that, and that is the reason why they have decided to choose Virgil. As a matter of fact, the editor of British Vogue said, and I quote, "Virgil is one of the few designers who truly marry street culture with high fashion, and the first black designer to be given such a position in the gilded halls of LVMH, the company that owns that brand, I believe it is. His appointment is a step in the right direction for diversity, as well as a particular exciting creative moment for the industry," unquote. I can't really give Virgil the fist pump of righteousness because, we reserve that for our black girl magic. However, I can definitely say congratulations to this black man. Very young, still has ways to go before he's at the height of his career. This is a wonderful, fantastic addition to his resume. Will give him so much more credibility than he already had anyway. A super fantastic and spectacular congratulations to Mr. Abloh. We wish you all the success in the world. And then lastly, you guys, in quickies, okay? Old Tyrone Gilliams. All the Tyrones with the fuck shit today. Tyrone Gilliams is Sheree's man. Sheree Whitfield from Real Housewives of Atlanta. The one that's in jail. What did the daughter call him? Jailbird. Well, you guys remember I had even mentioned it in the video just last week that there was supposed to be some sort of early release that Sheree was banking on. She was hoping that her man was coming home. You guys remember she was getting the man cave all ready for him. We hadn't heard anything about it. And no sooner than I posted that video, then it came up that his early release was denied. Now, Tyrone Gilliam was involved in a Ponzi scheme. And I think he was a trades, what is the word? Stock trades? I can't even think of the fucking word anyway. He was in this Ponzi scheme. He was not considered the ringleader. That's why he was hoping that he would get an early release. He was sentenced back in 2013 to 10 years in prison. So if you ain't up on the math, let me help you out. We are now in 2018. He has served 5 years. As far as the judge is concerned, damn it, you're going to sit your ass up in that federal prison for 5 more years. You guys know federal time is pretty much all of the time that you have been given. Okay, so not willing to let old Tyrone call up. You guys know I had to do it one time. Not willing to let him out early. And I guess they're saying that his lawyers are still going to try to get him out early. This is not his first time, and I guess it won't be his last. But I don't know. It's looking like it ain't going to happen for him. On top of him having to serve these 10 years, he had to pay $5 million back from the people that he stole from, and another $5 million to Uncle Sam. So he won't be around for a while. And we're going to see how this changes up Sheree Whitfield's storyline on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all know me. I ain't never got to see Sheree again. I guess you got to do something else with the man cave, Sheree. And then in what might be the most ultimate hustle of the year, child, they say that Jeremy Meeks then got his Top Shop heir Chloe Green girlfriend pregnant. Listen, when this relationship started, you could not have told me that it would have gone this far. I figured that this rich ass family, Top Shop the store, that they would just tolerate Chloe Green and whatever the fuck she was going through. Okay, we would call this the inmate phase. Okay, you know how some white women, they just love to hook up with some man and, you know, maybe try to rehabilitate them and get them together. Okay, but they usually get bored with this. Well, it ain't looking like Chloe done got bored. Okay, now y'all remember Jeremy Meeks. He was prison bae. Remember the Stockton Police Department had put his mugshot up on their Facebook page, and it went viral, and they got money together from GoFundMe and got him out, and a modeling agency contacted him, and the next thing we know, the motherfucker was in Turkey with Chloe on some damn yacht. I said, what? I mean, that shit happened so fast. And even though he's cute and everything, I mean, we can't forget the fact that, you know, he was a gang member, you know, and he had been in jail numerous times. So that's why I was really just thinking like, okay, the family was going to let him, you know, kind of just be around, and then they would get rid of his ass eventually. But honey, I don't know if daddy wasn't watching or what, but yeah, they say that Jeremy done got the girl pregnant. This won't be his first child. I believe this is going to be his 4th child. Remember, he was married when he was in jail, and when he got out of jail, now that he was prison bae, I guess he was a little bit higher on the damn totem pole, and once Chloe Green had then reached out to him, then child, I guess he had then totally forgot about his wife and 3 children at home. So now they're going through a divorce. They say that he's abandoned that family, and now he done moved on to bigger and better things. Let Jeremy tell it. I'm still wondering when daddy gonna come to his senses. Do you know you about to have this nigga in your family? In the meantime, Jeremy got the ultimate come up. And I mean, if these women ain't learned from Halle Berry, okay, just because you the mama don't mean that you ain't got to pay somebody else for that baby. If this relationship doesn't survive, then Chloe gonna be paying Mr. Man a whole lot of money. Okay, child, you talk about a fucking finesse. Oh, these niggas is full of it today. New couple alert. They're saying that April and Wiz Khalifa might be seeing each other. We've been noticing in Instagram posts that they've been kind of in each other's comments and, you know, leaving the little hearts or the little eyes or something. Enough to raise the suspicion of those of you guys out there who is fucking watching. Y'all know that April and Omarion are not together anymore. They haven't been for some time. Broke up right after she got pregnant, I believe, with that second baby. And really, it seemed like the shit was shaky before she even got pregnant with that second baby. And I was like, girl, what made you go there again? But yeah, they broke up, and now she's saying that he's an absentee dad, that he's never around, and really it's all falling on her. I didn't think that he would be that kind of person, but I mean, you never know. I mean, it'd just be all kind of shit going on behind the scenes. April and Wiz, I thought Wiz was seeing the other girl. Y'all know, I don't know who the girl was, but I remember seeing, you know, a newly buffed up kind of prison swole on the top Wiz. His legs are still skinny as shit. And I was seeing him with this other girl. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with Wiz, if I believe April and Wiz. But you know, like anything else, we gonna keep our good eye on it. And lastly, Cardi B's album, Invasion of Privacy, will be out on April 6th. Something tells me that it's probably going to come out a day or so early. She is on the circuit now, letting people hear different little clips of different songs. And I'm just like, good, finally. Okay, been waiting on this album a long time. Hopefully it does well for her. They're also saying that she is pregnant. There was somebody on Wendy Williams who confirmed at a photo shoot that she could tell that she was pregnant. Cardi B still hasn't said that she is pregnant. I'm starting to believe that she may just be pregnant because we haven't seen her in full body shots in a while. I also remember seeing her say that she's been super busy because she's filming all these videos and she's doing a lot. I think they're probably doing that because they're trying to get as much done while her stomach is a little bit more, hideable before she gets really big. And, so they're trying to get all this out. So I kind of feel like she might be pregnant. It's not no big deal if she is or isn't. She's grown. She can afford it. She's with her man. Y'all, we already know about that. But, she has decided that she's going to stick it out with him. So if they're expecting a baby and everybody is willing and able to take care of it, then fine with me. If she's not pregnant, fine with me as well. Looking forward to hearing her album. Hopefully it will do well for her. Will you be purchasing it? I've been in here too fucking long. I told y'all I had shit to do today. Damn! Get off of here. Make sure that we do this every single week, you guys. So make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.